Hello everyone, I'm Mina Man. Welcome to Higher Ground, the only show dedicated to finding common ground in the contentious debate over BC's natural resources. So often this debate in our province seems to pit concern over the environment against a desire for a high standard of living. Is this fair? Does it have to be a choice between one or the other? That's the question we asked ourselves here at ResourceWorks, and this week on Higher Ground, we start the discussion in search of the answer. If you have watched our show before, you know we like our economic data. While dry for some, it helps us paint a dramatic picture of the impact the resource sector has on our lives. We have shared with you that the value of BC's natural resource exports to the U.S. alone was an impressive $11 billion in 2013, up 17%. That the total value of BC's resource exports in 2013 could fund the entire BC healthcare system for 239 days. That's enough money to pay for all doctors, nurses, and hospitals for 2/3 of the year. And finally, based on 7 top resource companies doing business with 1,665 suppliers in just 8 Metro Vancouver cities, the total amount of economic activity was $1.3 billion in 2013. That's a lot of revenue to local Metro Vancouver businesses in just 1 year. It's important to understand how much is spent on construction and operation of resource projects, as those dollars drive the standard of living in our province and across the country. According to data provided by the Construction Market Data Group, or CMD, construction spending on the mining and oil and gas sectors alone is 3 times higher than the total of all spending on the construction for retail, accommodation, schools, and hospitals in the country. Over the past 10 years, the 4 non-resource categories spent $165 billion on construction, and the mining and oil gas sector spent a whopping $563 billion. That's over $500 billion, an incredible amount of economic activity. It's no wonder economists routinely cite the resource sector as a driving force for the Canadian economy and quality of life. Joining us today to discuss the resource sector, its economic impact, and the debate over environmental concerns and standard of living is Alec Carrick, Chief Economist from CMD. Alec, the $563 billion quoted in your data is amazing. What does it tell you?
It's a huge number, which indicates companies that are investing in that area are taking it very, very seriously, and that it's also very naive to think that the oil and gas industry is in any way damaged in the country, or our activity levels are halted in that sector, that won't have tremendous repercussions on the total economy.
Is our economy in any danger?
You sit back and you wonder when you look at these projects and you see how vehemently they are opposed by environmentalists and some of the legal challenges based on land title and so on. And you wonder if these projects are ever going to go ahead. And for the country as a whole, and for the sake of all Canadians in terms of their future prosperity, some of this work has to happen.
Alec, does this mean we have to choose between development and the environment?
I think everybody's really concerned about the environment. Like this is one of the things. I was asked somewhere else about the number of construction projects that are intelligent buildings or that have some concern for the environment in them versus in the past, and how that percentage has changed. That's an out-of-date question because everybody's concerned about the environment, and all the projects that are being built now have a smart component or an intelligent component or something that is really built or designed to take into account the environment. So everybody knows that this is important, and people are working their hardest to try and achieve what I would now call a green utopia.
Green utopia? How does that equate with quality of life?
To have a really good quality of life, and even to achieve the green utopia that we all want, there has to be a certain level of prosperity. I mean, this is what progress is. People don't wash their clothes in the lakes or rivers anymore. We wash them at home. And septic systems aren't as good as takeaway sewer and water treatment systems, and And ultimately, everybody's going to want to have an electric car, but it costs money to afford these things. So there has to be a certain standard of living to support that green utopia. And I just am not sure that that message has been brought home to people as effectively as it should be, although I suspect that most people know that at some level.
I think we can agree with you on that, Alec. So how do we get a green utopia?
If you think about the future, and if you think about a green utopia, what are two of the primary ingredients to get there? One of them is natural gas, and the other is electric power. And natural gas is a feedstock for electric power. So if you've got natural gas and you've got electricity, boy, you're golden compared to some other provinces or states or other regions around the world. And BC has both of those in abundance. So BC is very well positioned to have it all, to have not just the clean environment and the quality of life, but also very high standard of living.
And that's it for Higher Ground this week. Make sure to visit our website at resourceworks.com, sign up for our e-newsletter, and don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For ResourceWorks, I'm Mina Man. Thanks for watching.